time for month 4 of Magic, and I am going to start with a story of a princess coming to meet us. She was Make-A-Wish coming to see Sophia, and she had mentioned that she had a really deep connection with her. Same favorite color, loved animals, had the same hair color, her hair was almost exactly the same as Sophia's, and just how much Sophia's story impacted her. And when she was leaving, she looked at her and said, "I hope to be like you when I grow up." And it was so touching and awesome to me because I could tell Sophia was very touched and moved by this, but it just reminded me that no matter how old the guest is, these characters have such a big impact on them. And most of the time, probably more than we can actually tell. And I am so blessed that I have had the opportunity to be a character attendant and be around moments like that every day, or a person meeting their favorite character for the 100th time, things like that. So it just made me, like I said, very grateful for the experience that I've had. There were 3 little boys that their mom had dressed them up like Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and it was so cute. It was very creative. And I know that Donald really loved seeing his nephews while he was at work. And one of the best parts was they just kept saying, "Uncle Donald!" And oh my gosh, I was cracking up because, again, you never see kids dressed up like Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Another one was this really cute girl, again, at Sophia. I worked with Sophia a lot in this last month. Her mom was giving her cues like, oh, give her a hug, give her a kiss. And the last one was, give her a winky. And this girl had to be like 2 or 3. She was very, very tiny. Full on, like, tilted her head, opened her mouth, and winked. And I was like, oh my gosh, stop. That is the cutest thing of the day. We can go home, like, we are done. She was adorable. But then later that day, a little boy gave Sophia a kiss, and when she gave him one back, he lost his mind. He was like, oh my gosh, Sophia kissed me, and like instantly fell in love with her and was like reaching to her as his mom was dragging him away. And it's so funny because I was like, that boy now has the biggest crush on Sophia. One day I was scheduled as a spare at Studios, and I got pulled over to Epcot to work with Duffy. It was my first time at Epcot, and oh my gosh, best moment of that day. There was a lot of awesome moments, but best moment of that day was when a newly engaged couple came up, and Duffy decided to recreate a wedding scene. So the friend standing there with the autograph book as if being the officiant, and then the groom was standing right next to it, and then Duffy pretended to walk the bride over to the groom and made them kiss and did a covering eyes pose. And I was dying laughing because I was like, I've never seen a character get so involved with a wedding like that. And so we're like, so we're getting an invite to the wedding, right? They're like, who do we make it out to? Duffy and attendant? And I'm like, Duffy and attendant Kelsey. Like, I am coming with. So that was really funny to witness. Another awesome moment was, again, at Sophia. This dad was standing behind the rope trying to take pictures, like, over mine and the photographer's shoulder. I was like, sir, would you like me to bring that camera in here for you? And he's like, I would love that. So I grabbed it. I was snapping pictures, getting really close, getting all these moments, and I gave it back. And I saw him walk away looking through them and just get a giant smile on his face. And he came back a few families later and tapped me on the shoulder and said, thank you for capturing some of these moments. They're brilliant. And it made me feel really good that he was so happy with them that he came back. And like as he was leaving, he like called his wife over and was like, look at this picture. And so that was really cool. I'm really glad that I've been getting better at figuring out what shots to take, because even though we are supposed to promote PhotoPass, if a family hands me their camera, I know that when I give off my camera, I'd like to come back to more than one photo. So I like to take as many as I can. So that's really awesome to get a lot of feedback. Same thing happened when I was working with Chip and Dale one day. A guy came with a Chip and Dale hat and sang the Rescue Rangers theme to them. And the whole time I was snapping away taking pictures because he was super nice. And I ran into him again later and he's like, thank you for so many pictures. Some of them are awesome. So again, it's really great to get that feedback and people loving the picture.
And change of setting and clothes because my battery died, so I put my jammies on. The next one is from when I was working with the Doors for the Christmas party one night, and I got there in time that I had to go around asking guests to check their wristbands. And it was a long line, and I needed a fun way to get the crowd's attention. So I said, hey folks, we're going to play a game. I think you've all played this before, so just join in. And I did a if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands themed. I said, if you're excited to meet the dwarfs, clap your hands. And at the very end, instead of saying, if you're excited to meet the dwarfs, and you really want to show it, if you're excited to meet the dwarfs, show your wristbands. And I was like, keep those wristbands up, I'm going to be coming around to check them. And I had my crowd like applauding and laughing, and several people were like, that was a genius way to do it. And I was like, thank you. And I even had a manager come up and I was like, have we been checking wristbands? And several of the guests were like, yes she did, and she did fantastic. So that was really awesome for me to just have fun, my guests to acknowledge it, and to tell a manager who came over, I'd be like, yeah, she's been doing her job and she did it in a great way. So that was a really cool moment for me. I had one trainer stop me, the same one that stopped me at Play and Dine last month, and she's like, why is it every time I run into you, you are a rock star? She's like, do you ever slow down? Do you ever have a weak moment? And I was like, I try not to. And she's like, you are such a good example for the new attendants that I'm bringing in and training. And so that was really uplifting for me. I had one trainer while I was with Sophia spieling to folks that she was closed. She's like, I like that storyline that you used. I'm going to use that in the future. Or, you're a great example because I'm over here training this manager. And so that, like I said, it's been a really great month of like getting awesome feedback and feeling like I am confident in what I am doing. So I'm just having a lot of fun. I also got to make magic for a guest with disabilities. It was while I was working at the Hat, and this little boy named Brandon had been in Daisy's line several times, but continually got cut off before he got to see her. And it was the end of the day, and I could just tell that this boy needed to see Daisy. And so what I did is I arranged a special meet and greet for him with Daisy. And oh my gosh, when I pulled him from the line, he got very distraught. He was like, oh my gosh, we're not seeing Daisy. I was like, don't worry, buddy, like, I have a special plan for you. And so he just got very quiet and just like kind of like, oh my gosh, am I not meeting Daisy? Even though I kept reassuring him he would. And when we finally got over to the fountain, which is our special meet and greet spot, he started opening up to me and getting really excited, and Pluto and the Chipmunks came out, and he got so excited, he started screaming, and it's one of those that he was drawing attention, he was being a little loud, but he was so excited. And so I was letting him do his thing, and I was like, and Brandon, don't forget, Miss Daisy is coming for you. And as I said that, she was coming around the corner, and he gave her one of the biggest hugs I think I've ever seen. And he was just so excited, and I was so glad that I was able to do that for him. And his parents thanked me several times because they said he had had several meltdowns throughout the day because of his disability, and it was so nice for him to finally meet Daisy and have a wonderful moment because he had been wanting to see her all day. And so I was very, very happy to make that moment for them, and he gave me one of the biggest hugs I think I've gotten so far. He said, thank you, Miss Kelsey, you're the best. And it just warmed my heart. My last two were from two Christmas parties that I worked. One was with Anna and Elsa, and I had this adorable little girl who was in love with Kristoff and just could not understand why he was not meeting with her, because the princes were with the princesses over on the Rapunzel and Cinderella side. So she's like, Kristoff should be here. I love Kristoff. Where's Kristoff? And she was, like I said, one of the cutest things. And at the end, I was like, you know what? I know how much you love Kristoff, and I have this special device so I can talk to Anna and Elsa's friends. Do you want me to send him a message? And she's like, yes. And so I gave her the cord to my radio. I made sure she was not pressing the speaking button because I didn't want a captain to come over and be like, why were you talking to Kristoff? And I was like, so I had her push another button, and I was like, Kristoff, if you can hear me, say snowman. And I pulled my ear and I was like, okay, you said it. Okay, tell him what you want to tell him, princess. And she's like, Kristoff, I love you. Leave Anna. Me. And oh my gosh, I almost lost it laughing because she was so dead serious about she wanted to be with Kristoff. And I was like, is that all you wanted to say? And she's like, yeah, I think so. And I was like, well, awesome. I'm so glad I got to share that message. And she's like, thank you. And she just jumped on me and gave me this giant hug. Like she was in my lap. And it's one of those things that preserve the magic. Have fun with it. You know, I know from the beginning she was a little disappointed that he was not there, but I was able to turn the situation around. And she left super happy. So I was really proud of myself for that, like, quick recovery, I guess you'd say. And the last thing is, on December 18th, I got to work with Santa Goofy at the Christmas party. And to ring in my 4th month at Disney, like I said, I got to work with him. And one of the cool parts is that where he was standing, you could see the holiday wishes. And a lot of people didn't know he was back there, or were watching the parade, or were watching wishes, or doing other things. So we only had probably like 10 families in the 30 minutes that set was happening. And I got to stand there with Goofy and watch the fireworks. And I was almost brought to tears because I was like, I am standing here watching holiday wishes with Goofy. Like, this is my life. And we had several moments where guests came over, so we got some pictures of them with Goofy, and we like changed things around. So the photographer was standing behind Goofy and the guests, and they would take firework watching shots, and we got to make so much magic for people that night. And like I said, I got to have a little bit of my own. I did get a little homesick just because it's the holidays finally, but I am so incredibly blessed by this opportunity. And kind of sad that in 2 weeks it'll all be over, but I'm going to just cherish it. I am going to try to get as much sleep as I can because it's Christmas time, but like I said, I'm just so incredibly grateful for this, and I'm looking forward to the little bits of magic that I get to make for my last 2 weeks here. Until then, I'm going to say see you real soon, and happy holidays.